Shall we share our screen, Prabhu?
Sure, Prabhu.
You make me co-host.
Making Prabhu, 1 minute.
Prabhu, 1 minute. I will introduce you.
Sure, Prabhu. Go ahead, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna devotees. So next part of our program is Sunday Feast lecture. Today's class will be given by His Grace Kamalanayana Prabhu and Sridevi Mataji as well, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So Prabhu is very well known to our congregation, but it's a Vaishnava etiquette. We will glorify Prabhu with few words. Prabhu is take care of monthly donation program and Sunday feast car parking. He also takes classes for the beginners batch on Friday. Prabhu do book distribution. Also participate in many other temple services. And Sarveshri Mataji, everybody knows Mataji also participate in many temple services. Mataji coordinates the deity garland service and assist Jai Shudra Mataji in various other services. Both Mataji and Prabhu never says for any temple services, never says no for any of the temple services. So with that, we will welcome Prabhu and Mataji by loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra once. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, Prabhu. Mataji, over to you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Share my screen, Prabhuji. Are you able to see my screen, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu, we can see.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna devotees. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna devotees. So first we would like to offer our humble obeisances to our founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, our Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Romapata Swami, and Satyasara Prabhu and Jai Subhatra Mataji, to all devotees. Thank you, Satyasara Prabhu and Jai Subhatra Mataji, for giving us this opportunity. Please forgive us if we make any mistakes. And we are not qualified for this. Just to purify ourselves, we are doing this service. So I will start with Jaya Radha Madhava prayer. Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Girivaradari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Girivaradari, Yashodanandana, Vrajajana Ranjana, Yashodanandana, Vrajajana Ranjana, Yashodanandana, Vrajajana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Hare Krishna devotees. So today we are going to see from Bhagavad Gita chapter 9 verse 2. So I'm going to recite the sloka now. Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam Pavitram Nidam Uttamam Pratyakshaavagamam Dharmyam Shushukam Kartum Avyayam. So any three volunteers would like to recite the sloka?
I can do it, Mataji. Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam Pavitramidhamuttamam Pratyakshaavagamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartum Avyayam.
Thank you, Samanita.
Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram idam uttamam Pratyakshavamanam dharmayam Susukam kartum avayavam.
Thank you, Mataji.
Anyone wants to go? Okay, we'll read the translation. Yeah.
Lada Mataji want to go?
Oh, thank you, Mataji. Please go ahead.
Yes. Raja Vindya Raja Gunhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyakshaavagamam Dharmyam Sukham Kurtam Avyayam.
Thank you, Mataji. Translation. So this knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. So it is the purest knowledge, and because it gave direct perception of the self by realization. It is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting and it is joyfully performed. So we will offer our prayer to our Guru. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Caitanya Manobhishtam Sthabitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Datantishva Padantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yatapata Kamalam Shri Guru Shri Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Saharajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tamsa Jivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bhanto Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrinde Vaneshwari Vrishabhana Shute Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Vancha Kalpa Tarubhacha Kripa Sindhupya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna devotees. So this is one of the most important and beautiful verse from Bhagavad Gita. So the subject matter of this 9th chapter is Raja Vidya. So Raja means king and Vidya means knowledge. So when you study Bhagavad Gita, we get the topmost knowledge. So the word Raja Guhyam indicates that this king of knowledge is very confidential. So secret of all secret. So why this is called secret of all secret? Because it teaches us how to love and serve God, or how to love and serve Krishna. So this kind of secret knowledge we will not able to get anywhere from outside. So there are so many top universities you see now, like we have MIT, IIT, so many top universities, but they have different departments to study, like physics, chemistry, biology, or engineering, math, anything, medicine. But there is no specific department for us to understand spiritual knowledge. So actually, this material knowledge, what it does is, it binds us to this material world. So whereas if you take spiritual knowledge, so it teaches us how to liberate from this material world. So that's why it is a secret. It's called Rajaguyam. So in this verse, it also talks about Pavitram. So in the word Pavitram means very pure. So anyone who takes this bhakti process, he becomes immediately purified. So because bhakti, it destroys papa, that is whatever the sin we incurred, like that one it will remove. And kutam means seeds of sin, and bija, sinful desires, and also it destroy avidya. Avidya means ignorance in our heart. So only when these three is destroyed, our heart automatically becomes purified. Permanently it becomes pure. And this knowledge is also called Uttamam. Uttamam means, it refers that knowledge which is above material knowledge. So Ud means transcend, Tama means darkness. So it is the knowledge of light, and darkness has been separated from it. And it also talks about Pratyakshavagamam Dharmyam. So that means direct perception. So if anyone is following this path of knowledge, so he will personally understand like how far he has progressed down the path of perfection. So we ourselves can feel how much we are advancing in this bhakti process. So a person advancing in bhakti process, gradually he will lose interest in material activities or mundane activities. And then the next word is Sushukam Kartum. So Sushukam Kartum, that indicates knowledge. This knowledge is very happy and joyful to execute. So devotees, they joyfully execute like whatever the service we do for Krishna, like whether it is dressing up Krishna or altar decoration, or making nice footstep for Krishna, or offering prasadam, chanting, kirtanam, like anything, whatever we do, it is joyful and very pleasing to us. So actually Krishna has everything. He doesn't need anything from us. He is a enjoyer, he is a controller. So he doesn't need anything from us. But he gives us an opportunity to serve him. So it gives more pleasure to us. By serving Krishna, it gives more pleasure to us. So Krishna also says in 9.26, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachyati. So that means whatever we offer with love and affection, Krishna accepts that. So it could be anything, very simple thing, like a tulsi leaf or water or fruit, anything. It's not difficult to get. It's everything. Anyone can get this. So whatever we offer with love and affection, Krishna will accept that. And then the next word is Avyayam. Avyayam means this knowledge is permanent, imperishable. So we may work in this material world for so many reasons, like for education or for riches, but whatever we work for, but that things are not avyayam. As soon as our body is finished, everything else will be finished. So with the death, our education, our advanced degree, or our bank balance, our family members, everything will come to an end. Like everything will vanish, finished. So again, we have to start from the scratch. We have to start from Baba Black Sheep. Again, we have to start. So, but whatever we are doing in this material world is temporary. But if you take in the spiritual knowledge, it is eternal and permanent. So, knowledge in Krishna consciousness is so perfect. If one performs work in Krishna consciousness And for some reason, if he is not able to attain perfection, actually he will, in the next life, he will continue from where he left. Like for example, if he is practicing bhakti 5% in this birth, so in the next life he will continue from where he left. So Krishna also indicates that this king of knowledge is so happily performed. So we can easily see those activities in Krishna consciousness are joyfully done. Like devotees, if you take whether chanting or dancing, eating prasadam or making prasadam for Krishna or discussing Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, whatever they do it very happily, very joyfully, they do that. So in other process, if you take, like we have to sit so straight and we have to control our senses, mind, and then breath. So very difficult process. So this bhakti process is very easy and happily done. So this process is truly sushukam, very happily done, joyfully. So this is the main concept of this verse. So now Kamalanayana will continue and explain more in detail. Thank you, devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Sridevi, Sarveswari has some other temple services. So she has to leave now. And we will continue the class. Okay. In this verse, it's as Sarveswari stated, this verse, Raja Vidya. Raja Vidya means first we will take that Raja Vidya and go into detail about this Raja Vidya. Raja Vidya means, as Sarveswari said, king of education. Raja means king and Vidya means education. So this is Raja Vidya is king of education. What is king of education? King of education is what? So Bhagavad Gita, whatever the knowledge you are getting, whatever you are educating from the Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, that is king of education. Knowledge, whatever the knowledge you are getting it from the Bhagavad Gita, that is topmost education. How come? I thought, every day the education is changing in the material world. I thought, cyber security is the king of education now. Sometime back, civil and transportation was best education. Then, all the time, mechanical engineering was best education. And then the electronics came and computer came. Now people, specifically studying cyber security. So I was thinking that, like cyber security is the king of education. But Krishna says here, no, the knowledge you are getting from Bhagavad Gita is the king of education. We will see why Krishna says that, the knowledge, what kind of knowledge we are getting it from the Bhagavad Gita, why Krishna is saying that this is the king of education. Krishna, then, there are so many reasons behind in it. The first and foremost reason is Bhagavad Gita is not a book of ahimsa or himsa. It's a book of devotion. Ahimsa means what? Peace, non-violence. Himsa means violence. So we are not studying any violence or non-violence in this Bhagavad Gita book. We are studying devotion from this Bhagavad Gita. So it is called Book of Bhakti. Krishna says spiritual knowledge is the highest among all knowledges, like whatever Sarveswari said, medicine, engineering, everything. But the spiritual knowledge is the king of education. If you know the transcendental knowledge, what is the transcendental knowledge? The knowledge you are, transcending from this material world, whatever the knowledge you require to move over the material world. So we are in this material world. We have to go beyond this material world. That means, if you want to go to the spiritual world and you need a knowledge, that knowledge is called transcendental knowledge. So that, if you know the transcendental knowledge, that means, you know everything. You know everything. So king of knowledge means it teaches who you are really, who you are. That's what this Bhagavad Gita is teaching. It is teaching us you are not this body, you are spirit soul. So, okay, I understand. I now keep on seeing this statement every class. I am not this body, I am the spirit soul. But when I truly understand this, understand and I act upon that, then that knowledge is, really helpful for me to, transcend from this material world. It is not that, if I say, in one sentence, Bhagavad Gita, it is teaching us, you are not the body, you are the spirit soul. So, okay, I understand. Okay, I heard that. But are we really, meaningfully realizing that? When you really realizing it, then you can transcend from this material world. That's what it is. So when with the true understanding of that knowledge, if you see everything, then you yourself see that you are not the body. How can I get that knowledge? Only by doing the sadhanas you can get that knowledge. So this understanding that the Raja Vidya, this Bhagavad Gita understanding, it removes you from the karmic reaction. So what I said is, we are reading Bhagavad Gita and it says that, you are not the body and you are the spirit soul. Okay. But how do I get that, real feeling of it? When I do the chanting, when I do all the devotional services, of course, I am realizing that one point of time, I am realizing that I am not the body and I am the soul. Is that enough? No. This knowledge will not take you to Krishna. If you want to really go to Krishna in person, then you need more knowledge beyond this. So what does that mean? You need to get the knowledge of yourself and the Supreme Lord, that, the relationship. First, we got the knowledge of who we are. Then I am not the body, I am the soul. That knowledge, we are getting it from the Bhagavad Gita. On top of it, Krishna says, you have to go beyond that. So we will, how do I go beyond that? We will understand the relationship between the Paramatma and, ourself. So spiritual soul is Jiva. But, there is another entity called, super soul that also resides in our heart. So if you understand the knowledge about the Paramatma, then you get more knowledge that also gives from the Bhagavad Gita. Then we go beyond that, after this Paramatma, when you go to, understand about true personal realization of Krishna, what is the Krishna's characters, what are the opulences he has, what are the names, what are the beautiful, realization. We will see that, Krishna's true characters, 64 qualities, and Krishna's pastimes. So if you get everything, if you know everything with the understanding of already, knowledge of, knowing that, super soul and everything, then you go to that, truly connect with Krishna. That kind of knowledge, it is giving from the Bhagavad Gita. That's why it says, it's a king of education. It's simply that's the reason, it is saying king of education. So when I understand I am not the body, I am the soul, what is the benefit of it? I said, if you have to go all the way to the Krishna after understanding super soul, you need to go to till the Krishna. But what is the advantage if I just understand I am not the body, I am the soul? What is the use of it? That, first it clears all our karmic reactions. We get all the karma, bad karma, good karma, everything. So all the karmas will be removed when you realize, you are not the body and you are the soul. If you realize that, then, it removes all the karmic, things. So Raja Vidya, as I said, Raja Vidya also explains that the Supreme Lord, this Supreme Lord gives this knowledge about Krishna's glorification, such as name, fame, and everything. This knowledge is called what? Vishesha Gyan. So this comes only from the bhakti. This Vishesha Gyan comes only from bhakti. But, if you are understanding, you are not the body and you are the soul. That, that also one type of, thing, but that's really not, not the topmost level of bhakti. But when you understand the super soul, that is, the Jnana Yoga people or Ashtanga Yoga people, they get that level. But if you want to go beyond that, only, Bhakti Yogi people go beyond this thing. So therefore, this knowledge is called Raja Vidya. This knowledge will liberate you and transcend from this material world. Transcend means it will pass. You will, get past from this material world to that spiritual world. But all the other knowledge will keep you in this material world. Or all the other knowledge, like, going to studying in colleges, getting the degree and everything, those things, will be vanished at the end of this lifetime. But when you get the knowledge from Bhagavad Gita, truly, I am saying, truly you are getting it and, practicing it, that knowledge will make you beyond this material world. That's why this knowledge is called Raja Vidya, as stated in this verse, the first word. Then, and the next, Krishna says, this knowledge is Raja Guhyam. So Raja Guhyam means secrets of all secrets. But first of all, we need to know what is secret here. Or, we say that, confidential. What is secret or confidential here by reading this Bhagavad Gita? So this, because the reason, the Bhagavad Gita, it talks about the soul, not the body. So the soul is very close to heart. That's the reason, it is saying that, secret of all secrets. People normally say that, hey, I want to tell you a secret. Keep it in your heart. Don't, let it go out. That's secret. But this Bhagavad Gita talks about soul. It is better than the heart. So when you hear the knowledge about soul, that's more secret. That's what it is. If you understand, if the Bhagavad Gita gives the knowledge about the soul, that means it's a confidential knowledge. As I said before, if the same Bhagavad Gita gives, so we know that, super soul is one level upper than the soul. I understand. I am not the body. I am the spirit soul. I can. So this is, I understand the confidential knowledge. But more than that, if I understand the Supreme Lord is within me, if I understand that knowledge, and also if I understand the relationship between the soul and the super soul, what is the position of the soul here with respective of the super soul, that knowledge is more confidential. So if you understand about your soul, it's a confidential. If you understand super soul, then that is more confidential. Beyond that level, if I understand Krishna in personal form, I truly have established the relationship with Krishna, myself, soul and the Krishna in the personal form. If I understand everything, that knowledge, it's ultimate knowledge. That means, most confidential knowledge. So confidential knowledge, more confidential knowledge, most confidential knowledge. Confidential knowledge is if you know about your soul. More confidential is if you know the relationship between soul and the super soul. But the most confidential is if you know the relationship between yourself and the Krishna directly, then it is most confidential knowledge. So this is what. So now as I said before, the more confidential, that means, knowing about the Paramatma, Jnanis and Astanga Yogis, they get that knowledge. So Paramatma means what? In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, verse 15, it clearly says that. I think I have a slide for that. Yeah. So look at this, the Paramatma soul sits in every living entity's heart. Just look at this. Even non-living entities also, the Paramatma is there. The Paramatma sits in living and non-living entity. It is pervasive all over. But, the soul is, sits in only in the living entities. So this verse clearly says that, what is super soul or what is Paramatma. Sarvesya saham sriti sannivisto matta smridir jnanam abohanam sa vedasva sarvair agam eva vetyo vedanta grut veda vityeva shaham. So this particular verse clearly talks about, I will read the translation of this verse. It's already there in the slide. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of a Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedanta. So this clearly says, what is what is the importance of super soul. So, and also when I said that the most confidential knowledge, it is little higher than the knowledge of the relationship between the soul and super soul. I already told you. So the bhakti yogis only perform this, get this, the most confidential knowledge. So bhakti yogis will gain this knowledge when they do pure bhakti practice for Krishna, or understanding knowledge about who? Swayam Bhagavan. Who is Swayam Bhagavan? Krishna. It is clearly stated here. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So if you understand, if you gain the knowledge about the Swayam Bhagavan, that is the most confidential knowledge. As Srimad Bhagavatam defines, original Bhagavan is Krishna. So most confidential knowledge is our relationship with Swayam Bhagavan. Which bhakti yogi does that? What is that? What is this whole process is called? The jiva understanding the Swayam Bhagavan. What is this whole process? This whole process is, everyday life we are doing. That is nothing but Krishna consciousness. This is what Krishna consciousness. So what Krishna consciousness does that? It makes understanding the jiva to connect with the Swayam Bhagavan, the Krishna. That's the knowledge Krishna consciousness is giving, and also, through Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, all the other Vedic literature things. So we gain this most confidential knowledge by reading Bhagavad Gita, and the ultimate purpose, ultimate, what is the use of the Bhagavad Gita? After reading the Bhagavad Gita, what it does? So when I read the Bhagavad Gita, then what I should do when suppose if I am reading the Bhagavad Gita, I should surrender to Krishna. What does that mean? Surrendering means? Surrendering means nothing, voluntarily surrendering. What is that voluntarily surrendering? I have heard this word surrender. Ukraine and Russia war is going on. If Ukraine is surrendering to Russia, that means what? Ukraine is, unsuccessful in war, because, they agree that, we are not going to beat you and we are surrendering to you. Then the vice versa also, Russia can surrender to Ukraine also. But this is the surrender we know most. But this surrender is not the same as that one. This surrender is voluntarily surrendering. What this surrender means, whatever Krishna likes, I will do. Whatever Krishna doesn't like, I won't do. That's a simple meaning of surrendering. So if Krishna doesn't like onion and garlic, then I won't eat. If Krishna likes chanting, Krishna likes everything, then I will do. This is a simple thing, surrender. You need to surrender to get the real knowledge. And also, surrendering is okay, but how do I get this knowledge? It is in the book. Can I read this book and get the knowledge? Yes, of course, you can. But is it a true knowledge? No, I would say no. Because why? Because I can misinterpret things. My senses are defective. So I can misinterpret. I will tell you one incident in my personal life. It happened with this material knowledge world itself. We can understand by reading it. We understand the things very wrongly. Several years back, almost 25 years back, I came to this country. When I landed here, I did not know the driving. So I learned the driving. When you initially, driving the car, after learning it, maybe at least, 3 to 6 months, you tightly hold your steering wheel like this and drive. And you always have one assistant in the next seat. He will either spouse or friend. he will always look at the mirror, look at the side mirror and everything, and he will tell you that, yes, now it is the safe time to change the lane. Okay, now you take the right turn, because you are holding the steering wheel straight, and you won't look at anywhere else. You would just look at the road and drive. That's a kind of a feeling I got it. So my friend was, telling me that, all the time, okay, you can take the direction, you can come to the change the lane now. One day we were driving in a freeway, and he said, Kannan, okay, come. There is no car, come. And I saw that happened to see that in the side mirror, there is a car coming. I told him that, no, I cannot, because I see some vehicle is coming in the next lane, next to my lane. And he said, no, you can come, because, the vehicle is coming far away. I can also see that vehicle in my side mirror. And this vehicle is in, how do you say that, it is far away? Because it's clearly written on this side mirror. What it says, objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. He misunderstood the whole statement. He was thinking that, whatever the object is appearing in this side mirror looks like closer, but it is appearing in the far away. That's what his understanding. But the truth is totally opposite. Whatever you are seeing in the side mirror, it may looks like, far, but it is actually closer. That's the exact statement, meaning of the statement. Objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. That means, it is already closer to you, but, so that's why the driving license people always asking you to, do the blind spot checking and then lane change. So this material knowledge itself, we are understanding totally in opposite way with the one simple statement. But what we are reading from Bhagavad Gita is, beyond this material world. So this is, you need to get this knowledge from the people, those who already experienced it. That means Siksha Guru, Diksha Guru, the spiritual master, and everyone. So you have to hear it from them. If you are just reading the Bhagavad Gita on your own, you will not get the full knowledge, and you will not get the full bliss also. So you hear it from your spiritual master or guru, but you need to choose the guru in a right way. You cannot choose any guru like one of my friend. He read the same statement in a different way, and he was convincing me, that is the right thing. So if you ended up a guru like my friend, then you will crash into the other car. Likewise, you will be in this material world. You will still be in this material. That's why, you have to get the knowledge from the right person, right source, bona fide guru, parambara. That's what it is. You have to get the knowledge from that, bona fide spiritual master. This is the second one from this, 9.2 verse, Rajaguhyam. Then we will see that, third word, like what it says, Pavitram. Pavitram means what? Pavitram means pure, purest. When do you say pure? Do you know when you say it's another person, normally we say that, oh, he is so pure. Well, that means what? He's so pure means what? Is he wearing that because of a good clothes? We are saying that he is so pure. This Mataji is pure. This Prabhuji is pure. Why? Why we are saying that? What is the meaning of it? The real meaning is, if we are saying he is pure, that means he is sinless people. He is, when pure means when someone is not sinful, when they don't have any sins, then we call them, they are pure souls. They don't have any sins. That's the actual meaning of pure. So we normally say that kids are pure souls. Why? Because they haven't accumulated sins. And Satyasara Prabhu clearly said in one class, I don't know the exact age, then 7 years or 12 years, I'm not sure about the particular age. Only from that age onwards, they will accumulate karma, like the sin and other things. So that's the reason, the newborn babies are, they are sinless. They don't have any karma at that time. Like previous birth, they have acquired all the karma, but they have not developed any new karma at that age. the childhood age. So that's why, that the pure, like Krishna here saying, the Bhagavad Gita is knowledge is purest. That means, if you read this knowledge, your heart will be cleared. That's exactly what it means. So this knowledge is pure knowledge. This Bhagavad Gita is not asking you to how to steal or how to this and how to that. That's not a thing. Bhagavad Gita does that. And also that's not giving any material knowledge also. That, yeah, I saw one book like recently, how to become a millionaire. That's a material thing, how to become a millionaire. The author who put this book, he became a millionaire. The people, those who bought this book, still they are beggars only. So that's kind of knowledge Krishna is giving in this Bhagavad Gita. But Bhagavad Gita is something different beyond this material world knowledge. So that means Bhagavad Gita is really, really pure. So in Bhatma Purana, I think I have a slide for this. Yeah, in Bhatma Purana, it says that, there's a beautiful verse, this aprapta palam pabam kutam picham palonmugam emenaiva pralayate Vishnu bhakti radatmanam. So this particular verse clearly talks about all the sins and sinful reactions. If you look at the picture, first it says papam. That means, sinful action. What is the sinful action? Anything against the dharma, if you are doing it, then it is sinful action. Stealing, sinful action. Lying, all the other, hurting other things, that's a sinful action. When you do the sinful action, what you get? You get the, aprapta. Aprapta means, so when I, suppose, if a person is stealing something, from Walmart, or, even Satyasara Prabhu clearly told this example, like, if he is going to the school and he is stealing something from the school, like a pen or something, if he is not get caught, of course, he committed a sin, but that, the reaction, he did not get it immediately. Nobody noticed and he is enjoying with the pen. Then after some times, after some years passed and he goes to college, and he again steal, the bigger things. Now he is not interested in stealing the pens. He is interested in stealing the laptops. So because that, desire he has. So when you commit the sin and whatever the reaction you are getting it from the sinful, that is not immediately delivered. The reaction is not given by God immediately. So those reactions, the unmanifested reaction stored in that, aprapta stage. Look at this aprapta, the first one. When you do the sin and you get some sins, but it is in the unmanifested reaction. What is that unmanifested? So far you have not get any punishment for that. Of course, he was stealing the pen. He did not get caught. So, he is moving along with his life, stealing more pens. But all those sinful reactions, unmanifested reactions stored here. Then with that unmanifested reaction, so when I have that, if I'm not getting caught, when I steal something, what would I think? I'll get, okay, I'll do the more thing because, I am enjoying with my things. Other people taking other people's thing and I am enjoying it. That's mine now. So those kind of things, then it comes to kutam. Kutam is, it's a kind of, it's in the seed level. It makes you, sinful disposition. That means it's a tendency to do more wrongdoings, to steal more from more and more. So my tendency now becomes, if no one is watching, then I'll take it. Because, I'm not get caught or something. So, but, sometimes, you get, so that's the sense. So I get all the unmanifested reaction. From that unmanifested reaction, I get tendency. Okay, I will not get caught. So I will do more thing. Then if you are get the tendency, then the desire comes there. That's what the bijam is. Bijam is sinful desire. When the sinful desire comes, what it does, then it again you make to do that, the papam, that's sinful action. So it's a cyclic process. It's a cyclic process. Once you are doing it, you are getting the reaction, but it's an unmanifested reaction. But Krishna accumulates everything because Krishna is sitting as a super soul and watching it. Whatever you are doing it, you are storing your sinful reactions in the deposit. One time, you will, get the truthful reaction. That's a prarabdha, manifest reaction. So what is the manifest reaction means? I did some sin, but sometime, I was driving in my car, but, I get into accident without knowing that, because that's because, the sinful reaction I did earlier. That's why I got this reaction. So that reaction is like, manifested reaction. Aprapta, unmanifested. Prapta is, manifestation. When it is manifested, what is the palam? What is the fruitful results of this manifested reaction? Here we are talking about the sinful reaction. What is the fruitful results? Either you break your leg, or sometimes you may die also. That's a palam. That's a fruitful reaction from this unmanifested, from this sinful actions. So this is how, but Krishna says in this last line, what it says, Vishnu Bhakti Radat Manam. That means what? When you do, when we, I already explained all these things to you. So when we do Krishna Bhakti, sometimes, when you do the sinful reactions, when you get, the people always do this. When the unmanifested reaction is manifested for small thing, then they think that, okay, God is punishing me now. Then what should I do? Then they will do some prayachitams. Have you heard of this word, prayachitas? Prayachitas means, temporary relief from this sinful actions. All this, for the past 6 months, all bad things are happening to me. I don't know why. You might have done good things in this life, but previous life, who knows that you might have done many bad things. So unmanifested reactions are now manifesting from the aprapta stage to prapta stage. So you have to go through that. So they do the prayachitas also. The prayachitas also mentioned in the Vedic Karma Kanda part of Vedas. It mentioned. But do you think that they will liberate from this world? No. What he needs to do, if he really wants to clear that, then he needs to read this, last line, Vishnu Bhakti Radat Manam. That means, if you do the Vishnu Bhakti, then all your sinful reactions will be burned. How it will burn? Yes, it will be burned. Clearly it is given. The best thing is, chanting. Best way is chanting. By chanting, you can destroy all the sinful desire. Chanting of holy names penetrates deep inside the root, and it completely eradicating bijam, kutam, palonmugam, prapta karma, and we become very sinless. So from where you are getting that knowledge? Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Caitanya Charitamrita. So all these things, you get it from here only. So that means, it is purifying your heart. It is purifying, goes inside your mind, and it does many things. So this is pure. Don't you think that, it is a pure knowledge? It's a purest knowledge. That's what Krishna says here. So chanting is the powerful way to get rid of sins. We get purified from all sinful desires and naturally become happy. So when you gain this knowledge from Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, your sinful desires will go away. And if you do continuously, bhakti practices, then all your reactions of sinful activities will be burned once and for all. That's a beauty of this, getting the knowledge from these things. Krishna also says, not only because of this sin and other things, Krishna also says why this knowledge is pure. Because of these reasons, this knowledge is not about the material science. This knowledge is about what? This knowledge is about going beyond the material world, going to the spiritual world. So this is pure knowledge. This is the study of two living persons. One is a soul and another one is super soul, or Swayam Bhagavan. So this gives the pure knowledge. But of course, this knowledge gives the pure understanding of this world also. We need scientific knowledge to function in this world. So scientific knowledge is needed to function in this world, but spiritual knowledge is needed to transcend this world. Meaning, if we want to go beyond this world, then we need the spiritual knowledge. That knowledge, we are getting it from the Bhagavad Gita. That knowledge is purest knowledge. So when we get this purest knowledge and practice in our life, the experience of purity of this knowledge comes. This is how it works. First, this pure knowledge enters through our ear. Now we are talking about the Bhagavad Gita. So this pure knowledge enters through our ear and then it goes to our mind. Then when we hear from the, but this knowledge, you should hear it from the bona fide spiritual knowledge, spiritual master. It goes to our mind, and then when we implement this knowledge, it enters in our heart from mind. So whenever I am talking, whenever Satyasara Prabhu is giving class or any other Prabhu is talking about Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam or anything, first we listen and we take the knowledge, we take the information into our ear and we process, that with our mind. Can I do it or can I not do it? If you agree that you are doing it, that means you are doing it means what? Next day you are waking up and chanting. You are coming to do the service in the temple. That's what you are implementing. You are processing and you are implementing in the action. When you do this, you really get, pure, soulful happiness. That's why, Krishna says this knowledge is, purest form. After getting this knowledge, our standards of morality, human decency level, our degree of civility goes up. Everything goes up. So therefore, this knowledge is the purest one. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a one verse, I think chapter 5, canto 8 and verse 12, I believe, that clearly says that Yasyasti Bhakti Bhagavati Akinchana Sarvair Gunayanas Tatra Samaste Suraha. That means, if one becomes the devotee of the Lord and practices bhakti, all good qualities will manifest automatically. I read the statement one more time. If one becomes the devotee of the Lord and practices bhakti, all good qualities will manifest automatically. All good qualities means what? When you chant, I am the best example. When after started chanting, my anger level goes away. My everything, ego and everything. It's not that it is completely removed, but if you keep on focusing on this knowledge, definitely one day you will become so pure. So this is what that, the third, the pavitra means. Idam uttamam. Idam uttamam means, we heard these things many times. Uttamam means, transcendental. Transcendental, I have already clearly explained. Transcendental is going beyond the material thing. Anything going beyond the material world is called transcendental. Going beyond 3 modes of material nature is transcendental. So I don't need to explain that the Uttamam in a great manner. So Uttamam means, transcendental. And then, the another important thing in this verse is Pratyak Shavagavam Dharmayam Susukam. What is that means? Krishna says in this verse, Pratyak Shavagamam Dharmayam Susukam. When we gain this knowledge and act according to this knowledge, we have a direct experience of spiritual happiness. This is what I just told you. When we hear the knowledge, when we hear the class from Satyasara Prabhu or any other, guru or anybody, Srila Prabhupada's lecture, that lecture enter in our ear and we implement that with the mind. We process and and then it goes to heart, and wholeheartedly if we implement, then we get the spiritual happiness. We get the direct experience of the spiritual happiness. How can I get the direct experience of spiritual happiness? Can't you ask that? Yes, I can ask. Well, how do I get the direct experience? Because we are what? We are part and parcel of Krishna. If Krishna is, spiritual, and we are also part and parcel, well, we are also spiritual soul. So if Krishna is getting the spiritual happiness, blissful happiness, then why not I get it? Because I'm part and parcel of Krishna. Maybe the quantity is different, but the quality, I may experience it. So in Vedic scripture, it is clearly says that, Sat Chidananda Rupaya. Sat means Krishna is eternally situated. Sit means Ananda. Krishna is full of knowledge. Sorry, Sit means Krishna full of knowledge. So Krishna, because full of knowledge means what? Krishna knows past, present, and future. But we only knows what is happening now. We don't know what we heard from the last class. That's our, at least my condition is last class, whatever I heard, I don't know. I can, get the theme of that knowledge, the class, but not the entire thing. And also future, I totally don't know. But Krishna is totally opposite. Krishna knows everything. So, but we are part and parcel of Krishna. So we also get the same kind of things when we truly practice spiritual bhakti practice. Lord Brahma also confirms this. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So in Vishnu Purana, it says spiritual souls are countless tiny parts of consciousness emanating from Vishnu. We manifest from the Supreme Lord, like the spark from the fire. This example given in many places. So if the fire is, as long as the spark is, associated with the fire, it has that heat and light quality. But if the spark is come out of that fire and, a small spark come out of the fire with the air, it destroys and it loses that heat and light quality. That particular spark, like we are also like that. As long as we associate with Krishna, because we are part and parcel of Krishna, as long as we associate with Krishna, then we get the true happiness, spiritual happiness. If we go out and, I can enjoy separately from Krishna, then you will lose that spiritual happiness. This is what it says in this particular word. Krishna also says, in Bhagavad Gita, Mama Vamsa Jaiva Loka Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. And also he says, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo Matta Sarvam Pravartade, meaning everything comes from me. This confirms that, if everything comes from you, I also have qualities. So whatever you are enjoying, I can also enjoy. As long as whatever you ask me to do, I will do it. If you ask me to do certain things and I will do the different things, then Krishna is not responsible. That's what it is. So if you do that bhakti practice sincerely, Krishna, you will also experience the direct happiness. Then the last word we say that, avyayam. Avyayam means, already, see the Sarveswari said that, it's imperishable. What is that imperishable? Imperishable means, it is undestroyable. This knowledge, goes beyond this material world. This knowledge is not stopping it here. This goes beyond this material world. If anything, whatever that knowledge you gain from this material world, it will be vanished at the end of this life. But spiritual knowledge, will go beyond this material. As Sarveswari said, we need to take, if you are not practicing bhakti practice, we need to take birth again, and we have to go to the schools again. I'll tell you one simple incident and I will close this, verse. One day, one cop, the policeman was pulling the thief with the handcuffed. He was pulling him and dragging him to the police station or prison. On the other side of the road, one father, takes her daughter, 4-year-old daughter, to the school. She is in LKG. And the daughter asked her father, why that uncle is pulling him and this uncle doesn't want to go with him and he is crying and he is, resisting to go with him. But the father replied to the daughter, because he is taking that police uncle is taking the other person to the prison. That's why he is more worried and he is crying and he doesn't want to go with him. But the daughter immediately replied to father, Oh, is it? He's just going to prison. I thought he's also going to school. I am going to school without any worry. I'm not crying. But I think, the prison is, not worse than the school. So this is the kind of the mood in that 4-year-old. I definitely feel that, I don't want to take the education again, come to this material world, going to the school, getting the degree, all those blah, blah, blah things. If I don't want to do that, what should I do? I should sincerely do the bhakti practice. Sincerely doing the bhakti practice means, I should do the chanting. I should do everything. I should say every day, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If I do the bhakti practice truly, then Krishna will take care of. And, with this, king of education, Raja Vidya, when I gain it very sincerely, then I will go back to Godhead. With that, I wanted to close this. Thank you so much for attending, devotees. Sorry if I misspoke on anything or hurt any of your feelings. Sorry. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhu. That's a wonderful lecture. Devotees, please raise your hands if you have any questions. Yes, Prabhu. Shiva Krishna Prabhu, you want to? You have any question?
No, not me, Prabhu. Madhava, I want to.
Yeah, Madhava.
Yes.
I just wanted to say I like the class.
Thank you,
Okay.
Madhava.
Devotees, please restrain for appreciations. You can send it to Prabhu directly. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. Okay.
Prabhu,
Yes, Prabhu.
Satyasaradas here. I have a question for Kamalanayana Prabhu.
Sure, Prabhu.
Prabhu, this verse says Avyayam. It is imperishable. Can you share more of your thoughts on that?
Yeah, because of the time I stopped, Prabhu. Many things the material things, avyayam, it's a perishable, imperishable. Imperishable means, whatever the knowledge you gain, the spiritual knowledge, it continues from the next birth. So, and also not only the next birth, and also it continues to take you to the Goloka Vrindavan. I suppose if you are landing in next birth, if you are not taking in the material world, if you are going to Goloka Vrindavana or Vaikunta, you are going to do the same service. Same, we are eternally servant for Krishna. So whatever the spiritual knowledge I am gaining here, say for example, today I started chanting and I am doing some small services, but I have not gone to that, the topmost level, but I happen to, lose my life. So, but the next life, wherever I left here, it continues. That's why it says, imperishable, never, never destroys, never ending in this life itself. But on the other hand, if you are taking any degree or anything, everything will be ended in this life. You need to start freshly from the next life. So that's the reason, this spiritual path, always continuous of the previous. It's accumulate every time when you gain the knowledge. In this end of this path, if you gain 10% of the spiritual knowledge, then the next birth, if you happen to have the next birth in the material world, it starts from 11th percentage, not from the first one. For the best example is Gajendra. Think of the Gajendra. Gajendra was the pious person and he was doing bhakti practices in the previous life. With that, benefit, when he was caught with the crocodile's jaw, Krishna, the Lord Vishnu came and saved him. So that means, whatever he earned, that knowledge deposit, it never vanished. And, it continued in the next life and he got saved from that. That's a thing, Prabhu. If you want to more, Prabhu, or if you have anything, Prabhu, please share it, Prabhu. We can hear.
devotee.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, yes.
If you want to share more knowledge, then please do it, Prabhuji.
No, I think you covered it very well, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Unless Sarveshwari Mataji wants to share something.
Actually, he covered very well, Prabhuji. Like, whatever the education we get in this material world, so that is going to be end in this birth. So only whatever the spiritual knowledge we gain, that will stay forever. Like, will continue from the next birth. That's it, Prabhu.
Prabhu, so any other devotees have any question? Prabhu, are we
Prabhu,
ready for-
I have one quick question.
Sure,
I'm
Prabhu.
trying to, first of all, thank you so much, Kamalanayana Prabhu. I really like the energy of your preaching, and also, of course, the message. But the energy is pretty good. I really appreciate that, or the time that you spend on kind of enlightening all of us. I'm just trying to grapple my mind around the fact that super soul is pervaded even in inanimate things. Right? I understand animate things like living beings, right? Because the living being grows, the living being reproduces. So I understand that sign of a soul there, but I don't quite understand how to understand about super soul being in inanimate thing. For example, will the super soul be in the car, or those kinds of things? So I'm just how do I clearly understand that, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. That's the reason, we thank you for the wonderful question, Prabhu. So my understanding is, when we say that soul, it sits in our body as a, that means, and also we say the size of the soul is, 1 by 10,000th portion of the time of tip of the hair and other things. But the soul, so when we mention soul, it is a pervasive. Pervasive means, spread all around. It's not, at one particular place it resides. It spreads all around like air. Can you, the air is there everywhere, the sunlight is passing through everywhere. So like that, the heat energy is passing irrespective of the material, the living entities or non-living entities. So the heat, how the heat light is, if you touch the stone, you will feel the heat. If you touch my hands, you feel the heat. Exactly like this, Prabhu. It is not like a soul. It is coming and sitting in our heart in a particular place or something. It is super soul is it's spread. It's like as I said, the heat energy, how it is passes through every object throughout the universe. Like that, that Shirodakshaya Vishnu is, spread across everywhere. Each and every atom particle of this universe, Shirodakshaya Vishnu is passing it. That's my understanding. Satisara Prabhu, if you want to give us more enlighten about this.
No, Prabhu, you covered it. Thank you, Prabhu.
So for living entities, the soul is in the form of Shirodakshaya Vishnu, and for non-living entities, it should be understood as like a pervasive energy of a super soul. Is that correct?
Everywhere Shirodakshaya Vishnu only, Prabhu. In my living entity, in my body also Shirodakshaya Vishnu, in the stone also Shirodakshaya Vishnu only. In the form, in an energy form, it's like a heat form kind of. It's without his energy, it's such a kind of, the heat form, nothing. So we cannot distinguish, only Shirodakshaya Vishnu is sitting in my heart and not in the stone. It's not like that, Prabhu. Everywhere Shirodakshaya Vishnu.
I see. Thank you, Prabhu. That
No
helps.
problem.
Satyarba Prabhu, we are ready here.
Yeah,
For-
Prabhu. Yeah. So, Sarveshri Mataji going to do Aarti Kirtan and Damodara Stakam and Narsimharti.
It's too high, Prabhu. Okay. Start, Prabhu. Nama Om Vishnupataya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine
Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvichesha Sunyavati Paschatya Desadarine
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pashata Deshatarine
Jaya Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Radha नीलमाधव राधा नीलमाधव राधा नीलमाधव राधे
जय राधा नील माधव राधा नील माधव राधे
जय राधा नीलमाधव राधा नीलमाधव राधे
जय राधा नील माधव राधा नील माधव राधे
जय राधा दामोदर राधा दामोदर 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 राधे
जय राधा वृंदावन चंद्र राधा वृंदावन चंद्र 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 राधे
जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा
जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा
जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा
जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा
नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल
नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रजाचार्य स्तोत्रस्त श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रजाचार्य स्तोत्रस्त श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम श्री गौर श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन धाम की जय वृंदावन धाम की जय नवद्वीप श्री मायापुर धाम की जय श्री क्षेत्रम श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय जगन्नाथ स्वामी की जय भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय गंगामयी यमुनामयी की जय सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय प्रभुपाद ट्रांसडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय प्रभुपाद ट्रांसडेंटल प्रसादम डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय प्रभुपाद ट्रांसडेंटल काउ प्रोटेक्शन यज्ञ की जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल all ghosts assembled devotees Hare Krishna all ghosts assembled devotees Hare Krishna all ghosts assembled devotees Hare Krishna all glories to the lotus feet of Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Very small letter. It's okay, bro. Namaste Narasimhaya Namaste Narasimhaya Praladalaadadaine Praladalaadadaine Hiranyakashipurvakshah हिरण्यकाशीपूर्वक्षः शीलाटङ्कानकालये शीलाटङ्कानकालये इतो नशिमो परतो नशिमो इतो नशिमो परतो नशिमो यतो यतो यामि ततो नशिमो यतो यतो यामि ततो नशिमो बहिर्नशिमो हृदये नरसिंहो
बहिर्नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो
नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे
नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये
तव करकमलवरे अर्पुदशृङ्गां दलिता हिरण्यकशिपूदनुभृङ्गां केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव कर
कमलवरे नाकाम् अद्भुत शृङ्गां दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गां
केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव
जय नरसिंहदेव 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 जय नरसिंहदेव
जय प्रहलाद मगराज जय प्रहलाद मगराज जय प्रहलाद मगराज जय प्रहलाद मगराज
जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज
जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद
जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद
जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव
जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव
निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल
निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल
नरसिंहदेव की जय प्रहलाद महाराज की जय प्रभुपाद की जय गुरुदेव की जय गौरनिताय की जय
ఒక్కసారి బంగారం మాధమ్మ. హరే కృష్ణ.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. What were you asking, Prabhu?
No, Prabhu. So,
Next is Damodara Ashtam, Prabhu.
okay, Prabhu.
नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानम्
नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसात्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानम्
यशोदाभियोलुकलादवमानं परामृष्टमाद्यन्ततो धृतगोप्या
यशोदाभियोलुकलादवमानं परामृष्टमाद्यन्ततो धृतगोप्या
नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानम्
नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानम्
यशोदाभियोलुकलादवमानम् परामृष्टमाद्यन्ततो धृतगोप्या यशोदाभियोलुकलादवमानम् परामृष्टमाद्यन्ततो धृत्यगोप्या रुदन्तं मुहुर्नेत्रयुग्मं मृजन्तम् कराम्बोजयुग्मेन शातङ्कनेत्रम् रुदन्तं मुहुर्नेत्रयुग्मं मृजन्तम् कराम्बोजयुग्मेन शातङ्कनेत्रम् मुहुश्वासकम्बात्रिरेकान्तकन्त स्थितग्रैवं दामोदरं भक्तिवातम् मुहुश्वासकम्बात्रिरेकान्तकण्ठ स्थितग्रैवं दामोदरं भक्तिभद्रम् इति त्रिक्ष्वलीलाभिरणन्तकुण्ठे स्वघोषं निमज्जन्तमाख्यापयन्तम् इति त्रिक्ष्वलीलाभिरानन्दकुण्डे स्वघोषं निमज्जन्तमाख्यापयन्तम् तदीशिताग्नेषु भक्तैषिता त्वम् पुनः प्रेमतस्तं शतावृत्तिवन्दे तदीशिताग्नेषु भक्तैर्जिता त्वम् पुनः प्रेमतस्तं शतावृत्तिवन्दे वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षावधिं वा न चन्यं मृलेहं वारे शादाभिः वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षावधिं वा न चान्यं मृणेयं वरे शादपिह इदं देव पूर्णात् गोपालबालम् सदा मे मनस्या वीरस्तां किमन्या इदं देव पूर्णात् गोपालबालम् सदा मे मनस्या वीराश्रां किमन्ये इदं ते मुकाम्बोजमत्यन्तनीलै घृतं कुण्डलै स्निग्धरक्तै च गोप्या इदं ते मुखाम्बोजम् अत्यन्तनीले घृतं कुण्डले स्निग्धरक्तश्च गोप्या मुहुश्चुम्बितं बिम्बरक्तादरं मे मनस्या विरास्तामलं लक्षलाभै मुहुश्चुम्बितं बिम्बरक्ताधरं मे मनस्य विराष्ट्रामलं लक्षलाभे नमो देवदामोदरानन्त विष्णु प्रसीद प्रभो दुःखजलाभिमग्नम् नमो देवदामोदरानन्त विष्णु प्रसीद प्रभो दुःखजलाभिमग्नम् कृपादृष्टिवृष्ट्यादिदीनामवतारो ग्रहणे समामग्न्यमेदाभ्यदृक्ष्य कृपादृष्टिवृष्ट्यादिदीनामवतारो गृहाणे समामश्रमे अक्षिदृश्य कुबेरात्मजौ बत मूर्त्यैव यद्वत् त्वया मोक्षिधौ भक्तिभाजौ कृतौ च कुबेरात्मजौ बद्धमूर्त्यैव यद्वत् त्वयान्मोचितौ भक्तिभाजौ कृतौ च तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकामे प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मेऽस्ति दामोदरेह तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकामे प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मेऽस्ति दामोदरेह नमस्ते स्तु दाम्ने स्फुरदीप्तिदाम्ने त्वदीयोदरायात विश्वास्य दाम्ने नमस्ते स्तु धाम्ने स्फुरदीप्तिदाम्ने त्वदीयोदरायात विश्वस्य धाम्ने नमो राधिकायै त्वदीया प्रियायै नमो नन्दलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं नमो राधिकायै त्वदीय प्रियायै नमो नन्दलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं नमो राधिकायै त्वदीया प्रियायै नमो नन्दलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं नमो राधिकायै त्वदीय प्रियायै नमो नन्दलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानम् नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानम् यशोदाभियोलुकलादवमानं परामृतमाद्यन्ततो धृतगोप्या यशोदाभियोलुकलाधवमानं परामृष्टमात्यन्ततो धृत्य गोप्या हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण जय राधे
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Back to you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Sarveshri Mataji, for wonderful Aarti Kirtan and Damodara